Hey, empowerednurses.org. It's Lorie Brown with Empowered Nurses and yournurseattorney.com. And I'm really excited for today's special guest, Marc Lopez. Marc, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Lorie. It's a pleasure to be with you and to chat with you today.
So Marc is a criminal defense attorney. He does a lot of DUIs because that's the most one that healthcare professionals are involved in, but he does any type of criminal matter. So he's located in Indianapolis, but he does work in the surrounding counties as well. And I'm really excited to speak to him today because I'm always thinking about you, my listeners, about how can I give you the most value. And one of the things that came up is I know that during these times, being quarantined and whatnot, as things open up, things are going to change, and you are more at risk. And so I wanted to make sure that I brought Marc on to discuss what changes you can make and be aware of, so when things get back to whatever our new normal is, that you'll be prepared. So welcome, Marc.
Hey, thanks for having me, Lorie. I appreciate it. I'm always excited to do interviews with you.
I love it too. You just give so much information, and you're like me. I'd rather prevent a problem than have a problem. So
absolutely. I don't want anyone to get in trouble with the law. If you do get in trouble, I want you to call me. But I don't want anyone to have to deal with this. This is not fun it's fun for me in lots of ways, but not fun for the person experiencing it.
Yeah. And I just love working with Marc because he works a lot like me. You know, we put the care back in the law, and we really care about our clients. And that's so important because it's like, we know the hospital inside and out, but the patients don't, and we do our pre-op teaching and whatnot, but we do the same in the law as well.
Oh, absolutely. And
so
you're one of the most caring people I've ever met, and especially for a lawyer. I'm always impressed with just, how you're passionate, and it's infectious, Lorie. So I love doing this stuff with you.
Thank you. So Marc, what do nurses and healthcare professionals, it's my understanding that DUI is the number one criminal matter with healthcare professionals, right?
DUIs are, you don't see too many doctors, nurses going out there committing robberies or anything like that. So you're absolutely right.
Not.
Yeah. And the DUI, traditionally with criminal law, you had to have what's called a mens rea. You wanted to commit a crime. So, you went out and you wanted to punch somebody. You wanted to do a bad act. With a DUI, for the most part, you didn't intend on that night going out and getting intoxicated and driving. We have cases, people are 0.085, 0.083, 0.09. Had they waited 15, 20 minutes before they would have driven, they would have been under the legal limit. They call DUIs a status offense. You're not an evil person if you get a DUI, and that's why you see DUIs going across the whole board. Doctors, nurses, lawyers, even some judges, and it doesn't make you a bad person. Unfortunately, many places such as, Indianapolis and more of the surrounding counties as well, they take a very hardline stance at these. So in some cases, if two people were to get into a fight at a bar, there's actually a very good chance their case is going to get dismissed if they've never been in trouble before. But the DUI, we can't dismiss those cases because those are more serious. How is it more serious? The person didn't mean to do it. So it's a very difficult situation. A lot of people, such as nurses, doctors, lawyers, any kind of professional, this happens to them, and they feel like they're being treated very roughly. And I can understand that.
Yeah. And nurses are terrified. Their whole identity is based on their job, and when they have a brush with the law, they just feel like their life is over. Or if they have a brush with like discipline at work or even the board. And so there's some things that we can do to prevent this, right?
Absolutely.
And we're very concerned with things opening back up after quarantine. Here's some words of wisdom that Marc's put together to share with you to prevent this from happening to you.
So this started with an email exchange between Lorie and I, and then we figured this would be easier to talk about. Right now, I feel like in the past 2 months, Indiana has been basically on quarantine since mid-March. And so today, restaurants are allowed to be 50% occupancy. Some of the surrounding counties, maybe last week, they're doing the same thing. what I've noticed is in the past, even today, I got a Facebook meme and Instagram, and there was a really cool photo, and it said restaurants can only have 50% occupancy. That means you have to drink 3 times as many drinks, or you shouldn't even be going out. And it was made in jest, and it's supposed to be funny. And you know, servers are struggling, restaurants are struggling, but the reality is people have been at home, and you know, I feel like drinking has been almost. I think people that would not normally drink Monday through Friday, or wouldn't normally drink at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you know, I'm at home. I can't go anywhere. So I feel like some people have been drinking a little bit, maybe differently than they had before quarantine. And my concern is
I
people
call it
have their
quarantine.
tolerances built up. Yeah. What were you going to say, Laura? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I was just joking. I call it a quarantini.
Yeah,
Um,
quarantini.
yeah.
I know my wife and I have had, you know, we were staying at home. We had some quarantinis at lunchtime, but my concern is when you drink alcohol, the more you drink, the higher tolerance you get. And so, you know, people going back out to the bars, they're experiencing, well, hey, I've had 3 drinks. I feel fine to drink. And in many cases, they may pass the field sobriety test, but you're still above zero point zero 0.08. And so you get pulled over for a taillight violation, or you don't come to a full and complete stop, you do a rolling stop. All of a sudden, all of us are asking you about alcohol consumption, and you get taken down, you're getting a blood test or a breath test. And you know, you'll see this. People literally like, I didn't feel drunk. And you know, depending how often you drink, you may not have been intoxicated. But Indiana has 2 versions of a DUI. One is a physical manifestation of intoxication, and the other one is, are you above the legal limit? And I've seen cases, not nurses or anything like that, but I've seen cases people pass the field sobriety test, their breath comes out 0.30, and you have officers like, I don't understand. This machine must be broken, and they go get a
Wow.
blood test, and then you talk to these people. They've been drinking every day for 15, 20 years, and they didn't feel intoxicated. And in fact, they were probably okay to drive, but they got pulled over for a tail light. And so there's an extra confidence coming out of quarantine. That's my first issue. And the second issue is a lot of people have been making really strong drinks at home, and I got nowhere to go. So you're going to get to the restaurants. I'm concerned some people are just going to be like, oh, that was weak. Let me have another one. And then, you know, I worry about I worry about everybody. I don't want anyone to get DUIs. And then add on top of this, Uber and Lyft are still operating, but I mean, who wants to get in a car with some person you don't know is healthy or safe? And so there's no easy answers for this. I want people to go out and support my restaurants because I want my restaurants there. I want them, but
Yeah.
please be careful drinking and getting back into this, and ease in perhaps. Don't just, jump out into it.
Well, what's interesting about this time is that the liquor stores are considered essential, and in other states where dispensaries are legal, it's people want to indulge because there's nothing else to do. I mean, except for Netflix. So, it's normal that people would want to drink. They may drink a little bit more. They're home. They're comfortable. But it does have ramifications, not only, like on your, not only a potential DUI should you choose to get behind the wheel, but also with your health. So just be careful, and you don't want to have a positive screen at work because that's a huge problem, both at work and before the board.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
just knowing that we're in a time of transition as things start opening up, be careful, protect yourself. If you have been drinking at home, just take it easy. Um, don't drink out, and be smart.
Lori, that's excellent advice. And, while DUIs have been generally down for the last 2 months, the few cases that have been filed, I've noticed a pattern. People were drinking at home, and they went out to the store. They went out and did something. And um, I'm, like you said at the beginning of this, I don't want anyone to get in trouble. Anybody watching this, please just ease back into the restaurant scene. Just be careful, drinking whatnot, and just recognize if you have been drinking while you're in quarantine, that's awesome. So have I. Just don't be overconfident with your driving, because your safety is number one. Your job, respecting the community, those are things you don't want to jeopardize just to get it back out there too fast.
And even if you feel safe to drive, um, all the research has shown that your reflexes are impaired, even if you don't feel it. So just be careful out there. You're a healthcare professional. Use your judgment, and be safe.
Lorie, that's an excellent point. Alcohol, the way they treat alcohol crimes, they treat them so harshly in this part of the state. But when you drink alcohol, it impairs your judgment, and so immediately you start thinking, well, I'm not that intoxicated, and so it's just a slippery slope. So I would never tell anybody never drive after having a drink. But my rule of thumb is I have two drinks and then I stop. And these aren't 15% beers, in these giant jugs. These aren't, I'm the biggest nerd ever. I go to the restaurant and I say I want a Diet Coke and a separate shot. And I get made fun of ruthlessly by my friends and even my wife. But I know what I'm pouring into there, and I know exactly what I've had to drink. And I don't think anybody has to go to that extreme, but just be careful out there and look out for each other.
Yeah, and speaking of judgment, I hear a lot of nurses say, "Well, it was on my off time. Why does this have anything to do with my license?" And Mark said it exactly. It's judgment, and it does have to do with your license because whether you care or not, you're a nurse 24/7, and your actions reflect on the profession. So be the professional you are, and use good judgment.
It's great advice. Look at that.
And I have to share, Mark. Mark has the most amazing, brilliant uh, advertising method. Do you have it?
I'm going to go grab it. I have it.
Out. Is this amazing or what?
I
It's
like it.
brilliant. It's a mask. I
Little
Plead
logo too.
with his logo, and I think that is brilliant.
You always make me smile, Lorie. You have so much love, and I feel it. So I appreciate it.
Well, I just think it's brilliant, and what a great way to give back to the community, yet by keeping people safe with something that they need, and to also share about your firm as well. So it's fantastic. So okay, so everybody, I hope you were able to learn from this and be safe. You can reach us at Brown Law Office, yournurseattorney.com, and Mark has his information on the screen. And hopefully you won't need us, and hopefully you'll take what we say to heart. But your safety is our priority.
Absolutely.
So bye, everybody.
Thank you, Lorie. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.